you guys have probably seen this before, is that we're getting sicker and sicker and sicker. Yeah, you guys are familiar with this trend. It is not turning around. Okay, for those of us who've been working together for a while, right? We looked at this 10 years ago, 5 years ago. It's not getting better. Okay, it's just getting worse. So this is super blurry, but it's the best I could get. But this shows obesity rates, and I know we don't really talk about obesity anymore, right? It's like, oh, we don't say that word, but it's a medical term which refers to holding more body fat than is healthy for your body. And it's a precursor to all the different metabolic diseases that we know and are super familiar with, right? Like diabetes and all those lovely things. So this is the trend since 2011, getting worse and worse and worse. And then I want to say this lands like 2022. And then there's a prediction map, which I didn't put up here, for 2023, which takes this color and basically spreads it all over the US, and a little bit of this color, which represents 45 to 50% of Americans being obese. I think the current statistic, as best I could find, is we are at 43% of Americans are obese. But you know, they have to do all those surveys to get an actual number. So I think that was from like a year ago or two. So this is the problem, yeah? No, no. It's based on BMI, which is weight to height on a chart. Oh. Yeah, it's not body fat percentage, it's a different scale. It's how we measure large populations of people. We don't use BMI to assess you. We use the body fat percentage, but when we're looking at populations, we use BMI. Okay. Okay, so like I mentioned, right? Like obesity, okay, whatever, but it leads to these chronic problems, right? Have you guys ever seen the 5 Buckets of Death lecture? A couple of you have. Okay, it's a great lecture. It's a great talk. Glassman's been giving it for years, but it's about the 5 ways we can die. What a fun topic, right? So the 5 ways we could die. We have the chronic diseases. Then we have microbic. So this is, you know, illness from bacteria or virus. We have genetic. Sucks to be you. Sucks to have the parents you have, right? Not much we can do about it. Kinetic. The things we plan to never have happen, but they just happen. And then toxic, you know, eating rat poison or getting bit by a snake. So those are all the different ways we can die. But what's interesting about this is that 80% of our deaths are coming from chronic disease. Okay. And then only 20% comes from these other crazy things. This is controllable. These are not. This is 80% of our deaths, right? So I have a really crude way of thinking about this. This is slow suicide, and this is accidents. Okay. That's a really crude way of thinking about it. And, you know, you hear stories, you know, people let their health go slowly. Well, you can let your health go slowly, or you can let your health go quickly, right? But it's all the same. And so it's divided by what's called the willful divide. This is with will, and that's without will. Does that make sense? I know, it's really crude. Hello, my name is Monique. I'm very crude. So, so this is controllable. This is what we can do about the problem. Do you guys agree with that? Yeah. And you guys know that, right? Now, if we take it down to more of an individual level, that problem results in great unhappiness across our lives. When somebody has lost their physical health, they start to lose their mental health. They start to lose connection. They start to lose community. It's just a downward spiral, which you guys know because some of you have climbed out of it through gaining physical health, right? So that's where we really care, right? We care about you. We care about you building physical health, that then you can build mental health and you can build communities and families that are healthy. That's where we really care, right? And that's how we're going to solve this problem. We have huge companies, well, huge, big, powerful people who are trying to change this. And what they keep saying when we go to our, you know, medical seminars and the MetFix seminars and all of that, and what they keep saying is you have to do it one person at a time. There's no magical way of changing politics or, you know, changing our systems to do it. I mean, we're trying, but the way to do it is one at a time. Okay, so that's what our programs in 2026 are about, is about helping you guys one at a time, and then you can help your communities one at a time. Cool? Okay. And you guys know, number one is fitness. You guys are all here doing it. This is just some random gym that had a cool picture, not us. So we know how much this does for us, right? And we have this on lock. We've been doing this for so long now that we have the system figured out. We know how to bring brand new people straight into class. We know how to make it interesting and fun. We have benchmark weeks. We have all sorts of things that keeps this going. I feel like we do it really, really well here at the gym, right? I mean, you guys are all here. Some of you have been here for a long time. The second piece is nutrition, which we've been working on through the Quick Cut program. It started with the 800 gram challenge, then lazy macros. Then we were doing macros with MyFitnessPal with a lot of you one-on-one. And then we figured out how do we take everything we've learned from all 4 of those methods and turn it into one. And that has been the Quick Cut. Okay. And I think everyone here, raise your hand. You've done something with us in terms of nutrition, right? Yeah. Okay. So we've got that sort of figured out. Now the missing piece, and the piece that we've kind of just lightly touched into, is education. We do the 20 to 30 minute talks each week where we tell you do this, do this, do this, do this, right? But we're not diving deep into why and how, okay? And when we get an opportunity to do that, we're gonna build something called certainty. And certainty comes from not just understanding why and how, but also you going out and testing it and seeing for yourself. That's really where certainty comes from. For example, when you guys first heard about CrossFit and you were like, I don't know. Did you have certainty before you did it? No, you were like, I don't know. Some of you were like, heck no spaghetti-o, right? It wasn't until you came in and saw for yourself what it did for you, for your day, for your family, for your relationships, that you were like, yes, CrossFit is a hard yes, correct? Okay, so that certainty came from you experiencing it and observing the changes from doing the activity, okay? Yeah, we all agree? Cool. So that is called science. Now, Metfix is all about science, okay? So Metfix came from the Broken Science Initiative. And the Broken Science Initiative is there to call out messed up science and lies and falsities in our scientific reports, in the evidence and in the trials and in the statements that are made. And there is some crazy stuff going down out there, okay? And so the Broken Science Initiative is all about that end of things. Now, what Metfix is the individual. It's about the individual. It's about helping you understand the science so that you can apply it to yourself and gain that certainty. Make sense? Cool. So with our engagement with Metfix and our partnership and my training through Metfix, this has become a huge eye-opener. It's like, okay, so we're telling them do this, don't do that, eat this, don't eat that, right? But we're not totally telling them why and what is happening on a biological level in terms of eating this or eating that. And so this is what I want to change in 2026. I want to go deeper with you. I want to help you gain certainty about what you're doing, what you're eating. Make sense? So I wanted to, now these are not anyone else's definitions. This is what I wrote out. So science is an investigation to explain events and use those explanations to make predictions. Okay, so you guys know that if you come in to do a CrossFit workout, you're gonna leave feeling mentally better but physically tired, yeah? Cool. So we could use science to explain why that is. Why do I feel mentally better but physically tired? And you guys basically know that, yeah? So through the filter of science, we gain certainty and we remove biases, noise, and myth. Yeah? So like, oh, CrossFit's dangerous. Well, who's been doing CrossFit for more than a year? Good. Are you dead yet? No. Are you more dead? No, you're less dead, right? So you can remove noise and myth around CrossFit. Make sense? How many of you eat meat? Okay, how many of you have heard biases, noise, and myths around eating meat? Good. Do you listen to them? No. Why? Because you feel better eating meat. We have 2 vegans in the back. What's up? They're eating fish though, right? Chicken too. Chicken! Whoa. There we go. They're eating meat. Woo! That's awesome. Good. So you guys understand that how actually trying stuff for yourself, seeing, you have to observe, right? How it changes you, and we use the InBody scanner and we use feedback. We sit down with you. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How are you sleeping? How are you performing in the gym? and then we gain our certainty about what we're doing. Does that make sense? Okay. So for 2026, we're going to change things up a little bit. We have 3 programs that we want to run throughout the year, okay? Each program has a different purpose. So in January and February, we're going to run what's called Spark. And Spark is a program that I've helped develop with METFIX and a team of other affiliates, METFIX affiliates, who also have nutrition programs going on in their gym. Now, full disclosure, this was designed for gyms that have no nutrition programs, 0 nutrition programs. So some of you are going to go into Spark and you're going to be like, oh yeah, I know that, right? But there are pieces to Spark that dive much deeper than you guys are used to. And so I want to make sure you have the opportunity to participate in it, okay? And so we're going to run Spark. Now, each one of these programs, one thing we learned from this year, from 2025, is that we can't do an ongoing program and keep you interested. It gets real boring real fast. You guys need new names. You need new swag. You need new stuff, right? Totally get it. So we're going to go Spark 5 weeks, okay? And that's really about education. That is the main purpose of Spark. And I'm going to make sure that we take this deep enough that you guys get new things out of it, okay? Then we have the Quick Cut Challenge. We're going to bring it back as a challenge, and we're going to run it for 5 weeks. That's when we had the most success with Quick Cut. The problem that we found with the ongoing Quick Cut is that we couldn't achieve one of the most important pieces of it, which is being 100% in for a set amount of time. Okay. When we think about being 100% in for the rest of our lives, we go, yeah, no way. Right. So, but by establishing a set amount of time, we're able to experience the 100%, right? 100% on plan, eating meat, vegetables, nuts and seeds, some starch, little fruit, no sugar, right? And no seed oils, which is a new thing, which we're going to introduce in Spark. So when we have that set amount of time, we are able to do the 100%. And so we're going to take the Quick Cut Challenge back to being a 5-week challenge. Okay. We don't expect you to live there for your whole life. So what we did is we separated out another piece, which we'll talk about in a minute, which is the accountability, and we made it a separate program. Okay. So you guys can run the challenges in 5-week segments. Cool. So that one will be somewhere between like March and April. And then a brand new one, brand new. I just made up this name, so if you're like, let me know. Buns and Guns competition. Yeah, do you know what it's about? Muscle, putting on muscle, right? We either care about these or these, right? So Buns and Guns, this is about building muscle and bone density, okay? So in this program, we're gonna just be focused on building muscle mass, which you guys know is really, really challenging. So this will be a challenge where we just deep dive into what does it take to build muscle mass. And along with this challenge will come supplemental programming to help you guys build those areas. It'll just be Buns and Guns. Buns and Guns, okay? And that'll be worked into our programming. So one of the things Josh is gonna do is actually be writing in workouts that are heavier, kind of like a cycle, like a weightlifting cycle. So for those couple months, that will be, well, it'll be a 5-week challenge, okay? Somewhere within those 2 months. Cool? Okay, then we will run Spark again because of course we'll have new members. Those of you who need a refresher can do it again. It also gives you a chance to, again, focus on that piece of things and get more out of it. I will tell you too, every time we go through the Quick Cut Challenge, every time we go through Spark, there's new things added to it. There's changes made to make it easier to understand, more efficient to teach, etc. Right? Those of you who have done like Tim, you've done the Quick Cut Challenge, I don't know, every time it keeps changing, right? New material. So that will be the same for Spark. This is the first run ever. And then this will be the second run. There'll be lots of improvements. I hope you guys join each one, right? And then we'll run the Quick Cut Challenge again, a chance to go 100% in, cut some body fat off without losing our muscle mass. Cool? And then in November, December, we're going to ditch the nutrition focus and just focus on attendance like we're doing right now. Okay, so this is the plan for 2026. Do you guys have any questions so far? Yes, sir.
Yeah, for the Buns and Guns, are the adjusted workouts going to be additional, or is the entire programming going to change with that?
So we're still going to do CrossFit, but there'll be some supplemental work in our programming. Yeah, you won't need to be here extra time. Yeah.
Is it very changing the weight? And like, you know, like say like you normally go 65 and you want to go up more, is it something like that, more challenging yourself with more weight?
Well, the workouts will still be CrossFit, right? We're not just going to switch to a power gym or bodybuilding gym, but there'll be opportunities to focus on your butt and your biceps. Okay, great. Any other questions? And that's not written yet, right? Like we're not there yet. We're still working on that. Yeah. Right. So that's changing. Yeah. So so here's what it's going to look like in terms of cost for members, for non-members. We're switching the weekly meetings to accountability project. Okay. The cost comes down because we're just looking at every Saturday being here from 8 to 8:30. And if that's something you need, great. One thing that starts to happen when we meet with you guys one-on-one is you go, yes, I need accountability. And we go, great, join the Quick Cut. And you go, no. And we go, okay, how are you going to get the accountability? And you're like, I'll take one-on-one appointments from you. And then 5 of you do that. And then next thing we know, our calendars are totally booked up with one-on-one check-ins. So when we talked about this, the team, we're like, let's just come up with one meeting time where everyone can come together. We can look at scans. We can answer questions. That's what those meetings were. Those check-ins were supposed to be. And then we only got 5 people. And then we still had one-on-one appointments being booked outside that time. So we're not going to be doing that anymore. If you guys need a quick check-in here and there, of course we want to do that. But the whole like booking every week, on the same day, same time, that's actually a $125 service that we offer. It's called Basic Nutrition Coaching. But the point was to make it more affordable for you. And so we created the Quick Cut check-ins. So we're going to convert that to the accountability project. If you need weekly check-ins, you want us looking at your scans and answering your questions every single week, you'll be part of the accountability project. And you'll need to be here on Saturdays from 8 to 8:30. Okay? That's how we make it super affordable, right? And take $100 off of that is we do it all together as a group. That's how training is affordable. Back in the day when I was doing personal training and seeing people 5 to 6 days a week, it was $1,500 a month. Sink your teeth into that, right? That's how much it costs to have a personal trainer 5 to 6 days a week for an hour at a time. That's $1,500 a month. The way we make it affordable is we do it together. You share the coach, you share the trainer, you share the programming, and now it's only $200. Does that make sense? So it's the same thing with the accountability project. Instead of $125 a month to see a coach every week and have them look at your scans and be accountable to them, we make it $30. Cool? Okay. Now for our remote members, they're so remote. Aren't you guys? Where El Dorado Hills? We have some in Canada. Yeah. Hello, Canadian members. So for remote members, the Quick Cut program will continue to run as is. Okay. We have a coach who's assigned to that. So we have the briefings being posted every week. She does weekly check-ins over the phone, right? That's going to continue. They don't have all these other options. They're not here. Okay. So the remote Quick Cut program will continue exactly as it is, $50 a month or $50 every 4 weeks, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. This is for our in-person folks. Okay. You two are welcome to be in person anytime you'd like. Okay. So here's what Spark looks like. We're going $100 for our members. For non-members, we're going $200. And it's a 5-week program. It includes 4 lectures and meetings. It includes 4 workouts for non-members, which will be at a separate time, probably on Saturday after the lecture. And then it'll be, and then here's the other piece, is the optional body comp buy-in. Okay, who's done a body comp? Okay, so a body comp is a totally separate thing. There's no education. This is gambling on your body fat or loss thereof. Okay. It is. Some of us like really love this. So what we do is we literally have a pot and you can put $50 into it, and whoever makes the greatest change, male and female, gets to take that money home. It's a completely separate thing, but during these challenges is the time to gamble because you have all the support. Does that make sense? So with each program, there's an optional body comp buy-in. Because the purpose of all the programs is to improve your body composition. Does that make sense? Less fat, more muscle. Yeah? Cool. So, but you have to be part of the program to buy in. You can't do it outside the program. So Spark is $100, but you can buy in to the gambling piece. I'm just going to keep calling it that for 50. I don't know. Is there a more like cool way to say it, or kosher? Like, okay. Quick cut, $100, and then optional $50 to buy in for the body comp. Now for non-members, it's $300, because if you guys remember, a piece of the quick cut is working out 5 to 6 days a week. So if non-members are going to join the quick cut, they need to also join the gym, because they've got to be working out 5 to 6 days a week. That's the in-person version. The remote version, like I said, is exactly the same as it is. So the folks who are out of town are just $50 every 4 weeks. They have the support. Cheryl's the coach for that, and they have the education lectures still through Sugar One. Okay, and then Buns and Guns, exactly the same. Accountability project, $30 a month, not every 4 weeks. And then continuing education lectures. Oh, this is really exciting. And also a little embarrassing. I'm going to be super vulnerable. So one of my goals is I would like to be able to deliver a TEDx talk. Has anyone heard of TEDx? Cool. So this is one of those big lofty goals. The reason I want to be able to deliver a TEDx talk is because those speakers are sharing ideas that are new to the world, and they get out there broadly. And so I want to share some ideas about how we could change our health in America through youth education, right? We're kind of a lost cause. And I think that if we start at the ground up with our kids, that we could actually turn around that map that I showed you in the beginning of this talk. And so I want to, 1, have the stage, and 2, become a good enough public speaker to be on that stage. And so that's one of my goals. The quick cut lectures are awesome, but they're really short. And TEDx talks are very short. They're 18 minutes or less. But I want to work on my ability to present information and give it a little bit more time and effort. And so these lectures are going to be for anyone who's a member at the gym, but they're going to be an hour long-ish. And they're going to be a much deeper dive into the material. Okay. They will also align with what we're doing at the time. Does that make sense? So these are completely separate than these, because these lectures are simply to help you with the program. These are a deeper dive into the science. Does that make sense? And so those will come out like maybe every 2 months, and we'll have a time completely separate of, I won't be doing it like this, like right before I go teach a class. It'll be a lot more set up and practiced. Cool. And then you guys can be my critics, and then I can improve my public speaking, and then maybe one day have a bigger stage. Cool? Okay.
You're using the term heck no spaghetti-o?
Heck no spaghetti-o. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I wish. Okay. Yeah.
Do you like to have us give you a lot of feedback how each program has been going?
Only if it's good feedback.
Only positive. I meant like, well, I'm sure I'm not saying there's a lot of cons or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, of course you want to reduce the pros of it, but I'm just saying, like, is there critical feedback would you like to consider from us?
Depends on how critical it is. No, always want feedback, Chris. Okay. Yeah, we always want your feedback, right? This is for you. We're designing these programs for you, and that's it. They're just for you. So if they suck and they don't work, we got to know, right? Because we don't want to keep doing stuff that doesn't work. Cool? Yeah, so we definitely want feedback. We can also tell when stuff doesn't work because you guys stop showing up to it, right? We have numbers. It's like, oh, look, 45 people. Oh, look, 69 people. Oh, look, 5 people. What happened?
Just move, that's all.
That's all. Cool. So if you are all in and you're like, I'm in, I'm going to be there, I'm going to see what I can get out of all these programs, and you want to do the whole year, including the accountability project, all at once for members, it's $500 for the whole year to set you up for all the programs. Okay. If you decide to do piece by piece plus the accountability project, it's an $860 value. Okay. So, we're always looking at number one, what's going to make a difference for you and your health. That's number one. Okay. Number 2 is how to make it actually doable. How can we because we could make a difference, right? Like, you guys can come and live with me and eat what I eat and do what I do and do my workouts and maybe another one and do a bunch of labor. Like, I could have you so fit so fast, right? But it's not reasonable. So it's always taking that like ideal, right? We all live in a camp and I'm the boss. And then we go, okay, all right, bring it down a notch, right? Okay, fine, we'll just show up here once a day, right? But then also affordable, right? Like, let's be real. Like, there is dietitians and nutritionists who are offering their services for like $5,000 a year, right? Who's done that before? Raise your hand. I know some of you in the room, not going to admit it. Seriously though, like I've talked to folks over the phone. I just finished paying a dietitian or a nutritionist, you know, a couple grand for a few months, and I haven't lost any weight. You know, I've been seeing doctors for years about this problem, and it's not changing. And you know, copays and insurance premiums and blah 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 blah. You look at the cost, right? So please realize that these costs are as low as we can get them to still pay our staff and still keep our gym profitable, which we have to do in order to keep you guys coming back in. So if you guys do decide to participate in our nutrition programs and want to commit to the year, that would be so awesome, right? And you should just do the 500 for the whole thing. We'll set up your account so the entire year you're ready to go. And then if you guys are like, nope, not really there, can't do that right now, that's fine. We'll just do it one program at a time. Each program will be 5 weeks at a time. So there will be gaps between the programs. Does that make sense? I haven't actually mathed out the gaps, but there's gaps. It's like 3 weeks per 2 months. And then there's, I don't know, there's time in between. Cool? And that'll give us time to do like the deeper dive stuff. Any questions? Nope. Great. Yes.
So if I want to do the 500, how do I sign up?
I will just write your name down. I still have to build this out in Zen Planner. So